Welcome to Catch You Outdoors. I'm your host, Captain Rob Modies. This podcast is about living and playing in the Florida Keys, a 125-mile-long chain of islands. I cover my favorite sport, fishing, but also all the many things to see and do down this way. Catch You Outdoors is hosted by Spotify, also brought to you by your favorite podcast network. I almost didn't get that out, network. So kick back and relax with me in the Keys. This week's episode of Catch You Outdoors is number 146. Hello all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you are tuned into the podcast. I'm recording this on Monday, July 8th, late afternoon. It happens to be about 5:30, so less than 12 hours before this sucker is supposed to go live. It was just a weekend. You know how it was a weekend. And then the guys next door decided they were going to work on the house. They're working now, so if there's a bang or a saw, we'll keep right on going. I don't know they must be in trouble because that house looks to me like it's behind schedule, but that's just me, my opinion, you know. But so I didn't do a Sunday recording, which is what I would prefer to do, but there was a lot going on. It is ridiculously hot here now. We had the wind shift out of the southeast, and that was a bit of a Saharan dust added to it too, so it's caused the rain to stop. Phew, it's going to be feels like of 108 today, and I believe I'm sure it was. I didn't go out today. I didn't even go outside. I went to the mailbox. That was the extent of my outside trip today, and played in the garage a little bit, straightened up the garage. But the air from our house tends to leak out there a little bit and keep it around 84, 85 or so not too bad. I'm glad we are past the 4th of July. Whew, man, that was a long, long weekend when it falls on a Thursday like that. People showed up on Wednesday, and then, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, it was crazy down here. Too much traffic, lots of crazy boaters. Lordy. I fished 3 times this past week, though. I did. Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday in the backcountry. No ocean this time around. Too much of a breeze, which for my boat would be about 10 with a gust of 15. So we had 10 to gust of 12 to 15. And I know better. It hadn't got a gunnel. So, you don't want to mess with that. More about the catches here in just a few. My daughter Jessica was here for a little over a week. Fantastic. Love that kid. I say kid. Love that grown adult person. She's such a good house guest. We had a great time fishing together and doing the dining out thing. And at my age, it's always good to have the daddy-daughter thing going on. I really miss her and my other girls. It's nice to have at least one of them come on and hang out for almost 10 days or so. We did 3 days of fishing and some good eats. I gotta talk about the good eats here. We went to the fish house twice. That's the place, and it turns out that's her favorite place too. So you cannot beat the seafood there or the selection of seafood. We also did the Bayside Grill for a sunset. That was great. Really enjoyed it there as well. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. Believe it or not, I have not been over there to the outside bar area. Wow, that was nuts, but fun. I will say this: with all the people that were crammed into that place, and as crazy as it was, sunset, all that stuff going on, they were Johnny on the spot for taking care of people and getting you seated quickly and getting you out there and getting the food and the drink to you. I was pretty impressed with their service. It was great. We also did Murata Bay. Murata Bay is up in Isla Murata. It's slightly to the north, or up US 1, if you will, from Bass Pro Outdoor World. Outside seating in the sand on like a beach. It's great. I enjoyed it. Food was good. They had a cook there that was, they had like I'm going to guess that he was like a food truck chef, but he was set up outside and he was cooking up, those, what do they call them? Flat burgers. I call them flat burgers. But he was putting pulled pork on top with cheese too. So it was a cheeseburger basically with pulled pork on it. Those things were yummy. And homemade chips, those homemade chips that that was good. Also excellent view. Can't miss the view. So, And then eventually, Jessica and I made it a few afternoons ago for lunch at Marker 88. I hadn't been to Marker 88 since they did all the renewal and rebuild and all that. I mean, that place was tore up for a while, and it's beautiful. Highly recommend it. Outside seating, outside bar, lots of fans going on in the heat. A nice bandstand down by the dock so the guys can play. I know Billy Davidson, my producer dude, he plays there quite often, at least a couple times, I think, a week. So if you're in and around that area, be sure to check it out. Yeah. That's kind of halfway. That's kind of Tavernier-ish, really. So that's halfway between Key Largo and Islamorada on the bay side. Jessica, let's see. Yeah, we did. Jessica and I also visited the Islamorada Museum. I had to look at my notes. Whew, it's been a week. We watched a couple of historical films there. One about the Flagler Railroad, Henry Flagler building the railroad all the way down to Key West. That was wild. I knew the story, but it was kind of fun to watch the video and just imagine what it took to lay a railroad from basically Homestead, Florida City, if you will, all the way down to Key West with all the trials and tribulations and lots and lots and lots of water in the way. But they did it. And if it wasn't for what they did, we might not be driving on it now. I mean, the railroad was disbanded years and years ago, and they turned it into a highway, into the overseas highway. And that's how we get to Key West now. But fascinating to watch. And then the second film was about the hurricane, the 1935 hurricane that literally wiped out Islamorada and the areas around it. Excess of 200 miles an hour. People knew something was happening, knew something bad was happening, but they didn't know there was going to be a tidal wave, which there was. And I sat there thinking to myself, and I've watched this once before, that people moving down here to the Keys, living in the Keys, should be a mandatory film to watch. As the reason when they tell you to evacuate, it is time to go. These people that get hurt and these people that get killed, you know what I'm talking about in these storms, are the ones that go, I'm staying. And then you're like, oh, Joe died. Well, what happened? Well, he decided to stay. One guy in Fort Myers stayed on his sailboat. They found him, like a month later. I forget how long it was before they found the boat and him. But don't do that. This film to me is like the end-all, be-all of what not to do when a hurricane's coming. And these folks had no idea what was happening. They lost whole families. There was one family of 12 people, and I think 3 survived. We're talking tragedy. If you get down to Islamorada, go to the museum. It's located at the Islander Resort, which is right across the street from the Lorelei. And it's the museum is beautifully laid out. It has history on just about everything that's happened in the Florida, all the way from the Calusas on up. And it's really, really a well put together. Has a nice big section on fishing. Also has the Bonefish Tarpon Trust people set up in there, so with a display of the studies that they're doing on both bonefish and tarpon migration. Pretty cool place. The moon was just new a day or two ago, so the moving water will continue for the next few days. Yay! Also, noticeably higher water levels are in the back country. Yeah, the sun's over on that side now. It pulls that water in, so we have much higher tides in the summer than we do in the winter. A lot higher. And what I saw, I would say 8 inches to a foot higher in some of the places that I've fished in the past. Water temps were high 80s, close to 90 in a couple of readings I had. We have not had any rain. Wind has calmed down and the sun's beaten down. This is way up in the back. Now, I'm not talking about ocean temperatures. I didn't go out there, but back in the back it was pretty warm. It didn't stop the fish from biting. We could use a little rain and we could use some cloudy skies. So, and this, as I've said in the past, is somewhat related. The recent Saturday red tide report showed no hits on coastal Florida. So once again, yay, good news, all that kind of fun stuff. Excuse me, I'm clogged up today. Here we go. Let's see what's next. Oh my, I had a bit of a medical emergency in the middle of the week. Severe abdominal pain hit me in the early evening. Yes. Left side, so not the appendix, which I still own. Bad enough so that Janelle rang up 911 and an ambulance ride to the hospital. Yeah, we were going to go out and get in the car, and I said, I cannot do this. This hurts too. No. And I know how far away the hospital is too. I was like, no, I don't. This ain't going to work. And so they came, picked me up. We got there. Man, what a great check-in at Mariners Hospital. I got to tell you what, kudos to those people, the service, their bedside care. They're great. I cannot say enough nice things about everyone that took care of me there at the hospital. Doctors there suspected diverticulitis. I think that's how you say it, diverticulitis. That's right. Due to the family history, a bunch of people in my family have that. And that's what I thought, too, quite frankly. But the CAT scan showed otherwise. Kidney stone, my first. Lovely. Those little bastards hurt. I'll tell you right now, boy. And mine was little. Mine was passable, eventually. But my God, I've heard about that. My brother's had them. His son's had them. My mom's had them. So it also runs in the family, I guess. But mine was small, but gosh almighty, did it hurt. And those of you that have experienced one know what I mean. So arrived at the hospital at 7 p.m., got home around 1 in the morning. Fun time. Jessica and Janelle were the best roommates during the whole ordeal, and Jessica just toughed it out. Here she is down here for a 10-day vacation, and she winds up sitting in the emergency room with me. I'm sorry, Zoe, but it worked out okay. So, that's how it is. So big news. What I know about fishing the Florida Keys is now available. I got it in my hands this past week. Just a few days ago, actually. It's for sale on the website, catchyoutdoors.com. You can go to page 4 and then scroll down because there's 3 other books in there down to the bottom and get you one. I'm selling really well. First day was crazy when I put it up on Facebook. I was like, holy, it bogged my server. Oops. That's a good sign, I guess. I can't log on. Well, yeah, I know. But it'll ease up. Just hang in there. And it did. So get your signed copy right away, if you will. I ordered 100, as I said, and I'm not going to do it again. The price of printing is out of control. Thank you, inflation. Wow, I just cannot believe what it costs to print a book now. So I decided to stick to 100, and they're going pretty good. So get it while you can. No worries though, if I run out, they'll be available on Amazon and Kindle soon. Kindle, of course, will be less money because it's just downloadable. And then Amazon, they do discounts and all kinds of fun things on brand new books. So you might get a little bit off if you check out Amazon when it pops up. But if you want to get a signed copy, it's going to have to come from me. So there you go. And I'll be shipping those. If people are listening to this on Tuesday, that's going to be ship day for quite a few of the books. I was actually waiting for some envelopes. I was completely out of the padded envelopes so that I could get them mailed out, and they arrived today. So I'll be making labels in the morning and get them over to the post office. So those books should go out on Tuesday. And thank you all that are listening that ordered. Thank you very much for ordering. Also, both my new songs. I'm a busy guy. Stone Crab Blues and Setting Sun have been released. They're available on most streaming music services for listening and downloads. If you're already paying for a listening, like if you're doing Amazon or you're doing Apple Music and something like that, obviously you're already paying a monthly fee. Just go look up the song. Search on my last name. It's so much easier. There's a lot of songs that have the same things in titles and things like that. Rob Modys, Modys, is pretty unusual. As a matter of fact, it's the only one. Well, no, I take that back. My nephew is Robert Modys. But anyway, punch it in there, and then the 4 songs that I have out now will probably pop up. But the latest is Setting Sun. Friends are sending me some nice notes. They like that song. I'm so happy. We worked really, really hard on that one, and it's about growing old in the Keys. Let's just put it that way. Write what you know, that's what they say. So, and yes, there are more to come. I've been working on quite a few old songs and new songs. So I'll have to visit Billy, and we'll sit down in the studio and see what he likes and go from there. Time to talk fishing. Yay! Jessica fished with me on Monday and Tuesday. She arrived on Saturday, I guess it was, and we had miserable weather. And it wasn't any better on Sunday. But it got a lot better on Monday. We had some stuff planned on Monday, and then we got out there on Sunday, rather. We got out there on Monday. Monday was good. Monday, the winds calmed down. Matter of fact, it was just a good little breeze, 5 to 10, coming out of the southeast. And we hit several spots and caught a lot of fish. There was a mix of jacks, no snookers this time, mess of barracuda, mess of sharks, jacks, really big jacks, but fun at every single stop, which was really great. And I know she enjoyed it. It's been a long time since she's been out, a year, and she was a little rusty on the casting, but boy, she picked that back up in a hurry. I gotta tell you what, that kid is good. Listen, there I go again. That young lady is good. She's making casts right to the mangrove and catching fish. We used mostly artificial. I think we did a little bit of shrimping and discovered the artificial was just working better. And so she was getting the casts where they needed to be, and so she was catching fish. And it was good to see. It was nice to be back on the boat with her. And we used gulp shrimp, gulp swimming minnows, or swimming mullet rather, pink and white, green and white. I have another color now, green and pink I've been playing with. I don't know how to explain it. It's ugly, but it works. And then we were sighting fish this time. The fish were coming crashing down the edges of the islands, right up on the edge where the sand meets the mangrove, and you could just see them busting, especially the jacks. Well, those jacks were having a party. But it was nice. We were just casting out in front of them and doing our best to hook up with them. And, of course, the sharks were just sighting fishing with an artificial, drop it on their nose, play with it a little bit till they took it and took off. We got a black tip, a couple little bulls. I think that was it. Her black tip, though, was nice, about 4 feet long. Good battle, good fight. Also got a great picture. Tuesday, not as good. Tuesday, the wind was doing pretty much the same as it was before, but there was a push of, I don't know what to call it, silt, if you will, coming in from the Atlantic after the blowout there, of course, was stronger. And it kind of messed the flats up a little bit. We found some fish. I mean, we got on some fish. It wasn't a big deal, but it was nowhere near as good as the first day. And I think we were both we were tired. First day we stayed out longer than I would normally do. And so the second day we cut it a little short. There was also the imminent danger of storms coming in over the mainland, pushing down onto Florida Bay. So I was keeping a close eye on that. And it was a little breezier because of that. But the fishing was good. I can't complain. It's always nice to get out there. You forget what it's like. So let's see. And then there was... Sunday. Sunday, Jonelle got to go. Finally. She informed me that was the first time she's been on water since May 26th, which was her birthday. So busy she is. And I told her, I said, we got to stop this. We have to get you out there to play, even if it's just for a few hours, and then you can go home and go back to work. She works from home. I'll just, I'll take her. I'll just take you out there early. You fish till 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then you go to work. Everybody listening right now is shaking their head, aren't you? Yep, that's what you should do. We caught fish. Caught a lot of fish. Got back into the jacks and the cudas right off the bat. What else? We hit a couple really neat spots. We had one spot that we hit once before where it had been really, really good, and it wasn't there was snapper in there, but the snook had disappeared. But that happens. And then we did get a really, really nice surprise. I fished a place that I haven't fished in quite a long time. And as a matter of fact, the last time I fished there was with my brother. So that would have been early last summer. And it's where we caught a bunch of fish, and including one gigantic lemon shark. It's a hump. It's out in the middle of Florida Bay, sitting out there all by itself. It's the oddest thing ever. You have all this enormous flat with nothing on it, pretty much. Open water 3 feet deep, maybe 4 at the most, and then there's this patch. I guess at some point it may have been an island that got wiped out during a storm. I honestly don't know. But it's covered in grass, and it's got and that's important. It's covered in grass where everything else is like that light sandy bottom, and then it's got little sandy potholes in it, and we found the trout. We did not get a legal one, but I know that it will happen. It was one of those things where we got multiple sizes, everything from little bitty 7, 8 inches all the way up to 12, 12 and a half, 13 inches. We caught some really nice trout, and a lot of them. 2 dozen at least, maybe more. It was pretty constant. And we were on the way home. I mean, that was one of those stops. You just go, I said, let's just go check this out. And so we threw bait. We had some shrimp, frozen shrimp. I usually break that into 2 pieces, stick it on a jig head, and cast it out there. And they were tearing it up. So I was really happy to see that because, to be honest with you, every spot I've been hitting since last year for trout, there haven't been any trout. You got to go way, way west of here to get anything. So that's much, much closer where we were. And I was just really happy to see that. I don't know if the warm water last year drove them out, or better yet, it probably drove the bait out, and then the fish went with it. But that was really just great. So we did that. Fished hard. Fished hard. But let me tell you what, it was brutally hot. By noon, we're all looking at each other going, okay, I'm done. But all of us were melting, essentially. So we made the run back to the house around noon so we had a half day out there, and it was really, really good. Lots of fun. Combination of shrimp on jigs and artificial on jigs, and got it done, and Janelle finally got a fishing trip in. Before I go and do the, that useless information. Damn. Old age is really, really bad. Before I do that, just a thought. This is a good time to come down. If you are looking for a little quiet time, don't forget now, mini season's starting up, and they're giving the people of Florida a little mini season. So it's a good time to come down before all that breaks loose. If you want to kind of get away from the crowd. And then once we're past that, once they get through mini season, it'll get quiet again all the way through the month of August. The storms so far have stayed away. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. We know that it's possible that it's going to happen because they keep telling us it will, but we're still watching over our shoulders. But if you want to come down and enjoy yourself when it's quieter down here and not during one of the festive whatevers, I would recommend it. It's a good time to come visit. You don't have to wait in line at the restaurant. You can walk right up to the bar, get you a seat, get you a drink, and get fed at the bar if you want, and enjoy yourself. Okay, it's time for some useless information.
And now, from the original book of useless information.
You are a reject! You are useless! You can get a job down here cleaning toilets!
Here's your host, Captain Rob Modies.
Well, he swears up and down he's useless, but
he might be all right eventually, but completely useless.
With useless information.
Okay, this is what I call random. This is where you just I put my finger in the book. In 1949, forecasting the relentless march of science, Popular Mechanics said computers in the future may weigh no more than 5 tons. Number 2, approximately 98% of software in China is pirated. Somehow I'm not surprised. Number 3, back in the mid to late 1980s, an IBM compatible computer wasn't considered 100% compatible unless it could run Microsoft's Flight Simulator. And last but not least, Toronto was the first city in the world with a computerized traffic signal system. I wonder if it works better than some of the ones we've run into in Florida. And there you go until next week. And before I go, some final words as usual. It was great getting back on the water once again in a big way. Wind and rain over the past couple of months really messed up getting out there on a regular basis. My plan has always been to fish at least twice a week, but that wasn't to be. So now I'm going to make up for it. Have a good friend and his wife coming down, and if all goes well, we'll be back on the water on Wednesday. Fingers crossed. I feel sorry for those that don't fish. It's a good way to clear the head of all that's going on, and I have long called it the great mind eraser. Concentrating on getting that next bite takes precedence. And then there's the sheer beauty of just being out there. emerald green water, blue skies, white puffy clouds, and an amazing array of birds and critters. I really love it out there. I really do. I'll talk to y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed listening, please tell a friend, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The Facebook page is Catch Ya Outdoors. The website is catchaoutdoors.com, where you can find all the previous podcasts and a schedule of what's coming up. Until next time, get outdoors and enjoy.